We've received reports that police are investigating her movement at a Ballarat hospitality venue prior to her disappearance. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I don't have anything to provide comment on that at this time.
I want to talk about this case, this missing 51-year-old mother of 3. Her name is Samantha Murphy, and it's out of Australia. I've been following it since I heard about it. She's been missing since Sunday, February 4th. Around 7 a.m. And today represents the 5th day that Samantha or Sam has gone missing. It's getting really controversial and crazy. She's missing out of a place called Ballarat East. Ballarat East in Australia. And according to the Herald Sun, the family of the missing woman, Samantha Murphy, they issued a heartfelt plea. You will see coming up the dad. His name is Mick Murphy. He spoke out. And her oldest daughter, Jess, also spoke out. She cried. It's so emotional.
Mum, we love you so much and we miss you and we need you at home with us. Please come home soon. I can't wait to see you and to give you the biggest hug when I do and to tell you off for giving us so much stress. I love you.
But homicide investigators are also being brought in, and police spoke at this presser too, and some stuff that came up was even more confusing.
You're not treating it as suspicious, but as a female who runs by herself, is there any concern for people in that area? Should people not be doing that at the moment?
I'm not going to say what people can and can't do. Okay, so I'm just going to say that at the moment there are no suspicious circumstances that have been identified. It's up to people to assess their safety and comfort levels.
Are any disused mine shafts factoring in the search at all?
Not at this point.
When you say not suspicious, is there anything in Sam's history that might indicate that she does not want to be found?
There's nothing I can comment on that at this point.
Did anyone at all know exactly where she was planning to run, what trail she was going to use prior to her leaving on Sunday morning?
So I understand that Sam had a routine and that she did regularly go out walking and running in those areas, but we're not aware of the exact route.
I've been researching for days and days and days and trying to see what happened to Samantha. We've gotten some stuff we thought was true, but it turned out to not be true. What we can gather is that Samantha went for either a run or a walk. Around 20 kilometers was the plan, allegedly, which would have been 12 and a half miles or so. That was the plan, something Sam normally did. She was really fit. She's gotten over an illness. I'll just call it the pandemic illness. And she reportedly has very low blood pressure. She headed out for this run. The CCTV photo that has been floating around that shows us what she was wearing, she's about 5'8" or so. A brown singlet, which I guess is just like a tank top, and kind of like black half jogging pants is what she wore. Reportedly, she was last seen leaving her property in or around Eureka Street to go for a run about 7 a.m. Sunday, February 4th. Now, my question is, do we have this correct CCTV photo? Where's the video from that morning? Why do we just have a photo? I hate when limited information is released, when a person is missing and every hour matters. We have this photo of Samantha wearing the brown tank top, black pants. I think she was picking up dog poop or something. That's the bag in her hand, reportedly. She has on an Apple Watch, as we can tell from the photo. What we don't know is what I haven't confirmed through any investigations or any official places. Was this a photo of Samantha from that morning? Was this the actual photo of her from Sunday, February 4th? And if so, where's the video? Why haven't they put out the video so we can see Samantha running away from her home and in which direction she ran? Is it just a photo from a previous run or a previous time she came home and she happened to be wearing the same thing? One thing we do know is that Samantha left without taking any water with her. I don't know how they know that. I don't know if that's been confirmed from CCTV footage, showing her with no water bottle in her hand, or if she normally doesn't run with any water. Did she leave her water bottles at home? So there are questions. And it was a really hot day, 36 degrees Celsius. That would have gotten up to the 90s Fahrenheit. But people in the area are saying, look, it was only around 13 degrees Celsius that morning. Early that morning makes sense. So that would have been a comfortable 55 degrees or so Fahrenheit. Maybe heat wasn't a factor at first, but if something happened, whatever happened, that caused Sam to go missing, was she the victim of an attack? We'll talk about another woman who was attacked on on one of those trails previously. She survived, thank the Lord. We will talk about also all these possibilities. Was it a stranger attacking her? Was it a snake bite? Was it a mine shaft? Some of these things, the cops are keeping an open mind, but they're not giving us a lot of details. Maybe they don't know a lot. It could be anything. Or did Samantha decide to take off on her own? People are looking at all areas. I've got to say, some sleuths, of course, are examining her husband's behaviors. And of course, family members are saying, no, don't even look his way. I've been in this group, Find Samantha Murphy. It has more than 12,000 members right now. And they put out a message from a family member saying, basically, don't even look Mick's way. Mick is the husband. Quote, for those questioning Samantha's husband, you need not worry. He is in more pain than anyone and would be the last person to suspect in any of this. He would be the last person to suspect in any of this. And I really do feel so much for him and Samantha's kids, because I was thinking to myself, can you imagine your wife going missing, dealing with that shock and pain, and just, there's this one photo of him where he's just like flabbergasted. But dealing with that, and then dealing with all this pressure from the public giving you the side eye, like, was it you? Did you do something to your wife? That's got to be pain on top of pain. So of course, people are still questioning him, though. They're wondering, only because certain weird statements came out in the press at first, which of course might have just been the media's interpretation of Mick or Michael and his actions. There were quotes made that Mick wasn't searching for his wife, that he was just going to stay put at home and wait for updates. And so some people glommed onto that. But of course, he's saying, look, the police told me to stay put. And police tend to want to know where you are. They don't necessarily want a spouse out running around willy-nilly. They don't want other people to get hurt. So that could be very true. There was an incorrect video that came out. Police put it out. Investigators released an updated CCTV footage who they thought was Samantha jogging by in a different direction. And so people got kind of confused, like, wait a minute, what would Samantha be doing over here jogging? Turns out the footage that was captured around 7:16 a.m. on Eureka Street near the intersection of Warren Hip Road was not Samantha. It showed some person running in a northeasterly direction toward Yankee Flat Road. And so people were like, wait a minute, what would Sam be doing going that way? We thought she was in a different direction. But it turns out the person who was really captured on that CCTV footage came forward and said, hey, that wasn't Sam, that was me running. So it's maybe like back to the drawing board. Police were searching the Canadian Forest area and Mount Helen areas. Sam was scheduled to go to a brunch at 11 a.m. on Sunday, so her friends are noting her schedule. They know she does this often. She set off 7 a.m. for a run without any water. She had recently started running to train for the Run the Gap for Fun run in Hall's Gap. So investigators are still urging anybody who has CCTV or who might have been driving by, maybe they have dash cam footage, please search it, see if it's still there, especially before it's deleted, and give it to police. Maybe they can see Sam going somewhere. Maybe they can see someone following her. Maybe they can see her going in a different direction than where they anticipated. Which leads me to an interesting question that came up in this presser, where they were asking about some alleged activity that Sam may have undertook at some Ballarat hospitality venue, and that was quickly shut down, but not exactly answered.
We've received reports that police are investigating her movement at a Ballarat hospitality venue prior to her disappearance. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I don't have anything to provide comment on that at this time.
Police are just holding their cards close to their vest, chest, or whatever it is. You had to feel for Jess Murphy. She's the oldest daughter of Sam. She spoke at the presser. This was the first presser where the family showed up that I've seen. Perhaps one of the first. technically at all. I think there was one more.
It was a regular habit of hers to go out and walk the area or run the area, so she would have known the area quite well.
Hopefully they'll do more. Jess said to her mom, "We'll give you the biggest hug and we'll tell you off for giving us such stress." That was so sweet, and she just cried so much. It's really heartfelt. So she's telling her mom, just please come home. She's trying to keep it positive. She's trying to keep up her strength and her hope. So again, check your CCTV footage from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. if you're in the area. Sunday, February 4th. People are wondering, is it a madman? Is it the madman who attacked Sissy Austin last year? So she was running through the Lau Lau State Forest Saturday afternoon. This was 2023. She talks about this man. Sissy didn't really see his face. I don't think she got a good description. She just knew this guy had some kind of a rock inside of something, and he must have just attacked her. And Sissy, by the time she woke up, thank God she woke up, she said she knows that place like the back of her hand, basically. But when she got up, she was just covered with blood and flies. You could see all the flies in the press conference landing on, Mick and Jess. But when Sissy stood up last year from that attack, from that unknown man, he was gone, thankfully. She could barely make her way back to her car. If you go and search out articles about Sissy, she talks about maybe the police not taking it as seriously as she had liked. Her attacker is still on the loose. So I'm wondering, is it some madman, following women in the Australian trails, in the outback, or they call them paddocks, different areas or something, and attacking them? Is that one thing that happened to Samantha? Or did she get really dizzy and lose consciousness? Was there an animal attack, a snake bite? Was it an attack from a person? Oh, those old mine shafts. You have to be leery, according to locals, of them. Hopefully she didn't fall in a mine shaft or something like that. But police are still searching the Ballarat East area and other areas for this mother of three, 51 years of age, and it's been 5 days now. Well, the time change is a little bit different, so I'm here in the Eastern time zone of the US. It's 12:29 p.m., just afternoon on Thursday. But in Australia, it's already 4:30 a.m. Friday morning, February 9th. The dates get a little wonky or confusing, but they are ahead of us. But Jess in the presser just talked about staying motivated, keep moving forward. I know she's out there. She talked about how much she loves and misses her mom. Please come home soon. We need you with us. Again, Sam's family member said her husband is the last person to suspect in any of this. According to other articles, one of Sam's kids had written, "You have no idea what you're talking about. Be quiet and think before you post." And it seems like people are getting frustrated. That's one thing Jess mentioned about the media, like, stop taking our pictures. I don't think she meant right there.
Yeah, just
Sorry, Jess, can we get you to step forward towards the microphone, please? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm Sam's oldest daughter. Just on behalf of my dad and myself and my siblings, I'd just really like to thank our family and friends for just their continuous love and support. It's really helping us to get through and to keep us strong and to keep us motivated to keep looking and keep moving forward. Mum's a really strong woman and she's far too determined to give up this fight. I know she's out there somewhere, so if you could please continue to search for her, to give us something to work with, we'd really appreciate it. Mum, we love you so much and we miss you and we need you at home with us. Please come home soon. I can't wait to see you and to give you the biggest hug when I do and to tell you off for giving us so much stress. I love you. Thank you all for our time. And please stop taking photos of us and coming to our house. It's really hard. I just want to be able to walk around my house and feel safe. And it's a bit hard at the moment. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I don't think she meant right there. I think she meant just outside the home and talking about privacy. According to the Daily Mail, a person inside the home gave the media the bird before closing the blinds. and police were also seen inside. So sometimes I don't understand the enmity, sometimes I do. You know, it's like, oh no, Samantha's missing. We want all the media attention we can get for her, and they have it. They have worldwide attention. They have people hopefully all over. I mean, people came from everywhere. They thanked them for people are on horsebacks. They're like, let's walk. Let's take our bikes. People are really rallying to find Samantha, and it's a great thing. And the family thanked everyone for that and all the food being given and everything. So they're getting the attention they want because, of course, they want to find Sam. I guess they also feel the media can be a little bit too invasive in some ways. They must not want the media outside their homes, or, you know, someone's flipping the media the bird. I don't know if that was a kid or not. And maybe it's backlash against the folks online who are leaving comments about, oh, I suspect the husband. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people are like, yeah, he just looks genuinely heartbroken. He looks stressed out. He looks like he's getting very red. He didn't necessarily cry during the presser. Jess did. That's kind of par for the course. A lot of times you'll see men being very, you know, stalwarts and
afternoon, everybody. We just decided to do a press conference to help us with the search for Sam. We overwhelmed by the help of the public and the community, what they, you know, the way they've all formed together and come together as a unit to help us look for Sam and her disappearance. People just don't vanish into thin air. Someone's got to know something, you know, whether it be any little thing that you might think's relevant. Just call the police, let them know, you know. It'll give us a bit of peace of mind if we get some hope from someone. And we just like to, if you can respect our privacy as well at home. If not, you know, if we've got something, we'll come out and say it, and you'll be advised by the police and by us if we need be. Thanks for your time, and so once again, hopefully someone's got something that they can remember or they've seen, and they can contact the authorities and put some light on the subject. And also, thanks very much for the people. The generosity throughout the community has been unbelievable. If we went to accept all the food that would want to be cooked for us and like that, we wouldn't have to go to the supermarket for 12 months. You know, it's just really, really good. So thank you very much, everybody. And we really, really do appreciate everything that everyone's doing. Thank you.
just trying to stay strong, and he was rubbing his daughter's back, and just some folks even took issue with Mick saying the generosity throughout the community has been unbelievable. If we accepted all the food that has been offered to be cooked for us, we wouldn't have to go to the supermarket for 12 months. And maybe he gave a little laugh or smile, so I'm sure the body language experts are all over this. Maybe cops want the family to appear in pressers, of course, to see their mannerisms and how they act and what they'll say and any leakage, any information, whatever. You know, sometimes maybe he didn't know what to say. He was very grateful. So many people have been coming together, offering to give them food. Like Mick said, people don't just vanish into thin air. Someone has got to know something. And why Michael said he remained mostly hidden from the public eye since Sam went missing. We just finally saw him speaking out, which would have been last night for me in the U.S., Wednesday night. Michael told the Herald Sun, "I've been speaking with the police and I've been advised not to say anything." So that's what Michael told the Herald Sun on Wednesday. Would the police in Australia advise him not to speak to the media? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, different police have their tactics. They might say, look, this is what we know, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell the general public because we want to keep this as an investigative tool. Or, yeah, police could also say, don't go out there and search. So the police may have told him both things. Don't speak to the media. Don't speak out there until they brought him into the presser. Or they might have told him, yeah, don't go out there searching. Stay put. Stay here with us, stay close to home, we'll update you. We will update you. So that's why he was quiet at first. And another reason some suspicion from some people went Mick's way was because, according to the press, he said something like, well, I'm doing as well as can be expected under the circumstances. I'm doing okay. Something like that. We don't know what his exact quote was or what was interpreted. Some people took that as, oh, well, he's not searching. He's not talking to the media prior to this presser where he came out. He's doing okay and his wife is missing, and he might not have meant it that way. He might have just said to some reporter, well, I'm doing okay, as well as can be expected under the circumstances. We don't know the tone and everything. And he's not worried about all this commentary surrounding the search because, quote, he doesn't even look online, which is good. I think that's good for him not to see some of the stuff people are saying, taking the hard line against him, despite what the family is saying about don't even look Mick's way. The presser made us a little more confused in some ways because there were questions being asked, like should, women especially be worried about running alone and going out in the area? And we have the cops saying, well, I'm not going to tell you what to do, what not to do, which made sense. It's up to the individual person to assess their own safety level. Whether mine shafts are figuring into the investigation, not at this point. So that's what cops are saying. So people are wondering, does law enforcement already have a theory in their mind and they've already ruled out certain things? There was an emphasis on no suspicious circumstances. So what does that mean? Does that mean, initially they thought they had evidence of a crime scene. So there were some items found, but then they were, I guess, not attributed to the case of Samantha. So they thought, oh, we have a crime scene. There was confusion about whether the search was called off, and apparently it wasn't. They brought Mick to the crime scene, and that's where that photo of him being shocked was, but we don't know why. But then that was ruled out. The CCTV footage of, whomever that was running, ruled out, not Sam. The potential crime scene items found as of today, Thursday, February 8th, 12:38 p.m. ruled out, not a crime scene apparently. But one reporter asked this question. Police are investigating Sam's movements at a Ballarat hospitality venue prior to her disappearance. The acting Inspector McDougal, she just really kind of shut that down. She wouldn't answer that question. I don't know what Ballarat hospitality venue is being talked about. Is this the venue of the coming brunch that she was scheduled to have that day or what? So they're just being thorough and methodical. Acting Inspector McDougal said there are no suspicious circumstances that we've identified at this stage. So what does that mean? The police are getting huge amounts of information. So Samantha Murphy is described as Caucasian. She stands about 5 feet 8 inches tall, kind of tall, slim build, shoulder length blonde hair. Last seen wearing those black exercise leggings and that brown tank top. So yeah, there was this big thing in the Daily Mail where they're talking about how Samantha didn't go on her family's traditional summer holiday vacation on Victoria's Surf Coast weeks before she vanished. So at first I thought, uh-oh, is there something wrong in the family dynamic? Is someone breaking up? What happened? Why didn't she go on this vacation? And it turns out it's just because she was sick with the pandemic, and people are wondering, well, she's recovering, she was getting back into running, low blood pressure, all those circumstances combined. Did she pass out somewhere? They just haven't found her yet? Did she get confused and lose her way? So that's all that was about. But she did plan to go out for brunch, says her close friend, Virginia. Now, Sam has a close friend, Virginia O'Loughlin. So she told the Daily Mail Australia that Samantha had missed that traditional family holiday because she was sick. But the day she went out for the run, she was planning on attending that 11 a.m. brunch. Virginia said, I believe she was going out for brunch that morning. I believe she would have been home by 9 or 10 a.m. So her friend, knew her movements. Traditionally, going out for a run, maybe a couple of hours or more, she would have been gone. Should have been home around 9 or 10 a.m., freshen up, get ready. She said Samantha would have said, okay, let me take care of the kids, get them something to eat if Mick hasn't already done so, and then would have headed off to her brunch for 11 a.m. And Virginia also said there was nothing suspicious about Samantha missing the family holiday. There was no family feud. She said, I can understand why people might start to think that, but Samantha was sick. She didn't want to make her family sick. So sounds like a great mom. Just like I'm not suggesting anything, the Daily Mail Australia said explicitly they're not suggesting Mr. Murphy is involved in his wife's mysterious disappearance, and police have not suggested any foul play. So I think that's about all we have to work with right now. She was doing either a 12-mile walk or run. Her daughter mentioned the term skerrick. Somewhere in here, there's no skerrick of info or something like that. Her daughter was surprised. I guess skerrick is a slang term that can mean a small piece, a quantity, a bit. Used primarily in Australia. For example, not a skerrick of work got done. It is confusing that we haven't seen any real videos of Sam. If she, first of all, starting with the video from her home, why do we just see photos? And so these are the reasons why people are saying, oh, these armchair detectives can hurt the search, with all their stuff, but armchair investigators could hinder the search for missing woman Samantha Murphy, similar to Britain's Nicola Bulley. Well, people just want to know, where's all the actual evidence? Where's that CCTV footage of her leaving her home? It could truly help, even if it's not that great. Just release what you have to show which direction Samantha walked. And they're talking about the Facebook group and the popularity of it. And, people are going to theorize. While theories are emerging after Samantha completely vanished, she can't completely vanish. They're talking about the false claims that her husband was involved. But no, he's saying people don't just vanish. Someone's got to know something. Some people are saying, did a local do it? Who knows? Was it a tragic accident? It could be, especially considering what happened to Sissy Austin. Was it a brutal attack by a stranger? That's really scary. Did Samantha get lost in the forest? Was it a hit and run? Did she fall down a mine shaft? Oh, that's very scary. It says the area around Ballarat is littered with abandoned mines and treacherous mine shafts where some person could easily fall into them. Why would she leave her running trail to go off to some, scarier place? Did she have a mental health episode? Was she kidnapped or abducted, or did she flee for a new life? I just pray for answers soon. What could it be? And then the family vacation she missed, which is no big controversy. I'm just checking for updates as we speak. The Courier is giving some great updates. Looking for Sam, so they're just talking about the CCTV footage that was not her. There's also on Facebook the iWatch Ballarat Police Service area. I will put links to a lot of these sources in the comments. The Find Samantha Murphy group is a great resource. People just really coming together, showing areas which have been searched, which haven't been searched. It's very scary that homicide detectives are being called in. People are saying, of course, they should have been called in days ago. Maybe they were. We don't know when they were called in. And people are asking, who was the last person who saw Sam leave the house? It does make a difference. This person's assuming the husband was the last person to see her leave the house. We don't know if that's true. One person wrote, I believe the cameras fitted to her house were what informed the position of her leaving. I'm confident that police have obtained this footage, and I think it's fair to assume they can use it in their investigation. Maybe that's what excludes the husband from, any suspicion, or raise questions he needs to answer. Either way, that's police stuff. We shouldn't speculate on it too much, but of course people will. When you're out there searching for someone, of course you want to know what happened to them. The Herald Sun understands detectives from the specialized unit may be called in as early as Fridays, basically Friday is today in Australia, to work on the high-profile inquiries centered on the bushland in the Ballarat area. MPU officers are brought in for cases where there is fear someone could be the victim of foul play, but a body has not been found. Oh, it's pretty scary. Its members have run inquiries into some of the state's biggest murder probes in recent years. So the question is, are they just bringing in The homicide unit, just because they have the trails gone cold, literally, no one's found any evidence of anything along her normal route. Have they been able to get anything from her smartwatch? Have they, subpoenaed Apple? And I know it can be difficult to get information. Do they have what they need? They're still searching for CCTV footage, the ones that are really of her, not of another person. And why have they called in the homicide units? It's a great thing, but do they have evidence that Samantha was the victim of foul play? Like, where though? On the trail? Have they found anything related to her? And are they going to release the CCTV footage of Samantha leaving her home? That's what I pray they do. Some things they might want to just hold close, and they might not understand the difference between, a screenshot video, what's the difference? Even if they released a 5-second video or 7-second video, if they have Samantha leaving her home, if this is truly an image from that day, let's say it's only 7 seconds, 10, 11 seconds long, you never know what people in the crowd might spot. Oh, I see something that police haven't seen. I mean, look at the other cases we've seen. Savannah Soto, we saw police release that surveillance footage. Once it was crowdsourced, basically, like, crowd investigations can be a positive thing. So many people noticed a towel being thrown in the Savannah Soto case, and first 2 people were arrested, but once people saw there was a third party throwing a towel out of that truck, then all of a sudden a third person was arrested. Police may not have seen that, maybe they did, but instead of all these articles from, traditional media talking about online sleuths causing problems, why not focus on the positives that online sleuths can bring in cases like these? Please release the CCTV footage of Samantha leaving her home. I don't think it would hinder the case. I think it would help the case. It might bring up clues. Who knows what someone might see in the background? Someone might recognize if there's another person watching Samantha or something, stalking her, following her. And what is all this about the Ballarat venue? Maybe that's something cops just want to keep close. I don't know where that reporter got it from, but that Ballarat hospitality venue, her movements at a Ballarat hospitality venue prior to her disappearance. So do cops know? Is there a reason they don't release the CCTV footage? Did Sam make a stop? Was she up earlier than 7, or did she leave her home at 7? Did she decide to stop at some hospitality venue first? We don't even know, if she was on foot going from her home to the Canadian forest area for her run. Did she drive kind of to a trailhead? There's so many details I have not seen. And I've looked and looked, but in terms of official reporting, it's kind of hard to come by. So there's so much unknown, and maybe cops want to keep it that way. I think they know a lot more than they are telling us, but they are telling people, they want people to be safe. They're not telling you to go out and search, but like the inspector said, there are instructions on the police door. I'm assuming she means at the Ballarat police station, just telling you how to stay safe if you do go out to search. And a lot of things are just common sense. Have enough water. If it's too hot, maybe don't risk your own life, and be careful of those mine shafts. Go in groups. Make sure people know where you're going. Don't go alone. Have your phone charged. As much as you can have on everything, all of it can help. So we pray for Samantha to be found soon, especially for her family's sake. They seem so upset, as you can imagine, as you would be, as any of us would be, heaven forbid. Matthew 11:28 through 29 through 30, such a good verse, was prison ministry today, where Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And that weary and burdening, I just thought it was like weary and burdened, but it was also weary and burdened from religious rituals that don't give peace. But when you go to Jesus, he will give you rest and salvation. Salvation. He gives us stuff to do. He says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." So he's saying, take my yoke, those things they put on animals, like yoke together. So imagine a yoke right there on Jesus's neck. So he's saying, look, take this upon you. So we're together. We are yoked together. He will tell us where to go. He could lead us to Samantha. He could just pray. He could really help. He's gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Amen. I always said it. Jesus is the real goat. You always talk about people greatest of all times. He's the real goat. we want to be yoked to. He's gentle and humble. I mean, he could be a braggart. Everything he's done for us to save our lives. He could be boastful. He could have come in so many different ways, but he's saying, I'm gentle and humble in heart. And lastly, he says, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Yeah, I want to be yoked to someone who's easy and their burden is light. And I was like, oh my goodness, why, Lord? Why is your yoke easy? Why is your burden light? And I thought about it. Well, he's done the hard work. He gave up his life in a brutal, embarrassing way. Short life. What was he, 33? Can you imagine? Only living that long and knowing what you came to do. His yoke is easy. His burden is light because he's gone through the cross. He's done the hard part for us. So all we have to do is come to him, take his yoke, and find rest for our souls. So I'm praying that prayer over Samantha Murphy's loved ones and everyone that during this horrible time, I don't even want to imagine what they are going through, but I pray they can take the yoke of Jesus upon them, all of them, everyone, the searchers, her husband, everyone under pressure now and under all that pain. I pray the Lord leads us to Samantha. Pray for best case scenario. I always pray, did she just need a break? And that's not to dog out Samantha to say she would worry her family this much over a break, but that's the best possible scenario if it were just some misunderstanding, or if it is someone who abducted her, and if they can have a change of heart and just let her go. And pray she's okay. Pray for a miracle, even if she's off somewhere in the wilderness, if she could just survive. Day 5, it's like really getting critical and crucial. I pray for the cops, that the Lord lead them in the right direction, find the right person if they did harm Samantha, and pray to bring this mother home to her children, safe and sound in Jesus' name, and just help, Lord, help. That's my prayer over this case, and I pray we have a positive update soon. Thank you so much for watching all this. Take care.